Alright, back on this 2009 GMC 1500 Savana van. I didn't bring you guys along for the work on this. I'm scrambling to get this one done. He comes back in a week. I want to say next Wednesday, and today's Friday, so I had to get it painted tomorrow. There's the dent. First clip you saw was just the body filler work. I had already pulled the dent. A little bare metal spot sticking out in the middle of it. One little itty bitty spot I sanded through to. I don't have any high spots though, per se. It's pretty slick. I'm happy with it. But what pissed me off, they wanted me to fix a dent that was down in this corner. Okay, well I fixed that dent, and I wasn't, of course, had my head up my ass not paying attention. There was a little dent back here. After I started blocking this out, I ran into this one. I'm like, well, you son of a bitch. So I noticed that, and there was an emblem there. I popped that off, and I started prepping the panel, and there's a couple of gouges in it there that I had to feather back. So we smashed some primer on those gouges after I sanded them out, and I wiped a little glazing putty in that and threw some primer on it. I'll sand that in the morning. It's pretty flat, but I always go back and forth. Do I paint a whole side on something like this, or do I break it off? Well, I decided I'm going to break this one off. I'm going to paint half of the van side. We'll blend the color up into here a little bit and blend it forward and bring it back this way, and that'll be that. And I put this piece of tape on here so I could scuff to it. I've scuffed almost to that line, and then I'm going to take a gray Scotch pad and scuff right on that line. And then what I'll do is I'll pop that piece of tape off, and I'll false edge this or back mask it, whatever you want to call it, so that my overspray lands right on this line. Now the idea, let me stick you guys on the camera stand. I'm not an expert at this, and I will not claim to be, but it can be done. I'll shake you guys up a little bit here. Happy Friday. I go back and forth. Yeah, you should clear the whole panel, but the comment that I was left with when it was dropped off is, it's just a work truck, don't get too carried away with it. So I'm going to heed some advice, and I'm not going to get too carried away with it. I'm most concerned right now, it's of if I do paint this, I run the risk of putting runs and all this shit. This door, I'm going to mask this hinge cover off right here. Let's see if I'm even in the damn shot. I always wonder with this wide angle lens. I'll mask this guy off here, and I'll scuff right to this tape line, and I'll back mask that, or false edge it. Then I'll get my color and stay away from that tape. I'll get my first coat of clear, and I will get just past my repair area. Same thing down the side, and then my final coat of clear will come up to this tape line. I will pull that tape off, not this tape, but the false edge tape that'll be there, which will be sort of not touching the panel. And I'll put some edge blender on there, melt that down, we'll buff it, we'll walk away from it. That's the way it's going to happen on this one. The other thing is, I'm worried it being Friday, I won't have enough clear if something happens to clear this whole panel. So it always happens on a weekend, at least for me it does. You know, we had to work earlier this week, had to push snow on Monday, or salt, excuse me, we didn't push. And then Tuesday morning it was like 5 degrees, and yesterday it started warming back up. I had some errands to run, and I couldn't work on this. I actually moved it. It's sitting in a different spot in the shop right now. I was tired of being painted into a corner. So I'm going to finish prepping this up. I have gone over this whole thing. Let's see where I can find the DA. All right, here you go. We got the DA. There you go. These are 800. This whole panel out here is sanded in 800, just shy of that tape line, and then I'll scuffy it. Bodywork's finished in 600, and I've got some 600 scratch out around it. So this is the way I like to do them. I use, you know, you can use the Scotch pad and the Comet, which works good, but it's cold as shit, and I really don't feel like getting anything wet. I have not wet sanded anything. The other thing I use is the Super Acelix Lemon, which is Eagle Abrasives. It's 800 grit, just like the discs are. And that, I always try and knock all my orange peel out of it, because if I get it too peely on top of other orange peel, it'll stick out like a sore thumb. So I try and do that. Not sure what else I want to jabber on with right now. We're just going to get some masking done and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing wiped off. I'm going to start masking the rest of this, and we'll shoot the shit while I mask this. Alright, first things first, start masking this thing up. I'm going to outline everything except for this edge up here that I have the soft edge. I'm not going to mess with the door tonight. I've got that spot primed. I got to sand that in the morning before I paint. It won't take any time to bag that door up. But I've got some 2-inch tape here. Flip my screen around. 2-inch tape. 36-inch paper. On this one, the only thing I'm going to use a 36-inch paper for is the wheel opening. Everything else I'll use 18-inch paper and then plastic it. See how many rolls of 2-inch tape I can blow through here. First thing I'll do is turn the tape sticky side out. And mask all my edges. I'm masking underneath this one because I don't want all the trash and shit blowing out from underneath the truck. It's dirty. Newsflash, I don't have a wash bay, so this is what we got to do. So I hope everybody had a good week. To get back in the talking mode here, I've been by myself all day. I even forgot to turn the radio on, believe it or not. I've been sort of dragging my feet on this one because I only have one more coming right behind it immediately, and then I get a little break. Although if the weather changes, then it's not going to matter because I'm going to be busy pushing snow. What's under this wheel arch keeps grabbing my tape. Something's grabbing it. I could do that in one sheet. See how that tape's facing outward toward me. And then we'll put a piece of paper on there. Taper down. That way we don't have to put a wheel masker over that dirty ass tire. Anybody got any old wheel maskers in their shop from 15 or 20 years ago, back before 17, 18, and 20-inch wheels were popular? I've got a set of them and they don't cover these damn wheels. If you're careful, you don't get to overspray on anything, but as long as is that chance? I don't care if it gets on the tire tread, but if I get it on a wheel, I get sort of pissed at myself. Oh, this thing's so low to the ground. Wham! Bitch a little more, right? Hopefully you guys are watching from the sun is shining. It is dismal and rainy here today. It's been a long week, and it's supposed to be warmer tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be 50 tomorrow, and then down in the 20s at the beginning of the week. Before you go masking these up, take a Scotch-Brite behind there and get all the dirt, maybe a blowgun. Usually they're rough, so I wouldn't suggest a sponge or anything, but something to get you on the right path. Alright, this van side panel actually ends in the door jamb, so I don't need to back mask that or back tape it. Let's back tape it or get our paper up on the bottom of the wheel opening there. Razor blade. Brand spanky new roll. Son of a bitch is gonna come apart. Sometimes you gotta waste a little. Why you stick your tape on backwards. Give you something to stick to. That's how you keep the trash where it belongs. Now you can do one of two things here. Either roll the dice and leave it like that, or you can wrap a piece of tape around the whole back of the wheel. I'll get to that later. I'm gonna leave it like that for now until I get the rest of this thing put where it needs to go. paper machine already has tape on it, so you stick the sticky side of your paper that's been pre-taped to the piece of tape you put on the back of the panel, and no worries. Alright, there's one. We'll go up that corner. Okay, we'll tie up some loose ends and tape that back, but I'll run a piece of tape up the inside of that, paper off that dude. Now I'm contemplating I may leave this door open just like you see it here, while I paint it. I'll let the plastic hang down and the door jam in the back. Whoa, whoa. Yep, that one beat me. Probably a million different ways you could do this. You could get some of that foam tape and put it along in there and put a bunch of 2-inch tape in that jam, or you do what I'm doing right here. And then we'll peel that baby back, because I've already scuffed that edge real good. And then we'll tape that to the door. Once I shut the door, that can get pulled back and taped over. I'm not gonna, I think I mentioned it before, I'm not gonna tape this soft edge tonight. If you're using the brown tape or white tape, whatever you wanna call it, this will leave sticky shit all over this if I leave it overnight. It's not a big deal if you're just unmasking one, but when I pull that piece of tape, I'm gonna put blender over it, and then there's gonna be pieces of tape all underneath it. And I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to risk having that paper, or that tape residue, excuse me. Keep you guys down here. These couple different ways you can do it. I don't have room to bring the camera down here, but you can put your tape sticky side out on the inside of this jam. And close the door. Pull the sticky side of that tape out here, put a piece of paper over the door. That works. That way you've masked not only the jam, but you mask the door with it. You can put a piece of foam tape inside this edge and put a bunch of masking tape in there, so if you needed to open and close the door, like say it's coming in and out of a paint booth, you probably won't tape it up the way I'm going to tape it, because then you'll have to cut the paper or the plastic to get the damn door open. I think that's screaming 3/4 inch tape in there. There's not enough room. tape edge back, and that'll give you your softer edge on the edge of it. Pull it back past where the body line breaks, where it rolls into the jam. 1/4 inch or so. Farther if you want. Sometimes it makes a difference if you pull it a little bit farther. Sometimes it doesn't. The other thing you can do to mask this door to swing, which I actually may change my mind and do it that way. We'll 2-inch tape this jam off now that I back taped it like that. And then we'll wrap mask around the door. Give you guys a shot of that. This video is going to get stupid long because it's taking me too long to do this, but alright, so there's your tape, backwards, sticky side out, rolled over. So one thing I was saying you can do, first of all, if I close this door, the tape's going to stick to it. You could put another piece of 2-inch tape on that and close the door and let it stick to the door after you've masked your door first. That way you close and no overspray inside. I'm running out of spots to put the camera for you guys. I got too much shit laying around. So which way am I going to do this? I told you a couple different ways to do it. Now which one am I going to choose? I'm thinking we're going to paper this door shut. Just kind of screwy because this isn't a straight jam that kicks over. I'll be honest, this is only the first or second one of these I've done on a van. Maybe we won't paper the door shut. Oh, nice. Tape didn't even stick to the paper. The roll of paper is getting down to the nitty-gritty. get the idea of what I'm doing here. So when I close this door, I have 2 pieces of paper there. This is probably waste, but you know, it is what it is. Come on, baby. There we go. She's shut. Big waste of paper and tape. Masking machine is almost out of paper. You can take a tool and tuck your tape in there, plastic spreader or something. Alright, all that's left to do is run that piece of false edge tape and I'll mask the fuel door. Fuel door is going to get a piece of foam tape in it. I'll bring you back.